My roommate didn't know how to do dishes, so I made sure he really didn't have any to do. So, I, 21M, go to a state university and live off campus in a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 other guys, Matt and Chris. Matt's cool. He's majoring in engineering like me, we both game, split groceries, and alternate cooking nights. It's like a semi-functioning adult setup. But Chris is the human version of, it's not my job. Chris is a communications major and I swear the guy communicates only in grunts and microwave beeps. From day one, he's been the, I don't know how, roommate. Doesn't know how to take out the trash, what day does it go out again, doesn't know how to sweep, where's the broom, and definitely doesn't know how to do dishes. The first couple weeks of living together, I was chill about it. New semester, people adjust. But it quickly became obvious Chris was never going to do dishes. Ever. I'd cook dinner, and we'd all eat. Matt and I would do the dishes, our own plates, and the pans or whatever we cooked with. Chris. He'd scrape his plate off into the trash, rinse it half-heartedly under cold water, then stack it in the sink like he just donated to charity. One night I confronted him like, hey man, can you take a turn on dishes tomorrow? He shrugged and said, I don't really know how to do dishes the right way. My mom always did them, then he had the audacity to smile like that made him cute or something. I even offered to teach him. Literally said, you just scrub it with a sponge and soap. Rinse. That's it, he went, I dunno, bro I don't wanna mess them up or something. Mess them up? You're not defusing a bomb. You're cleaning a fork. So I let it go. For now. But the mountain grew. Matt and I stopped doing Chris's dishes. We told him. Like, very clearly. We're only cleaning our own stuff. If you use something, clean it, and he nodded, said, got it, then continued living his life like a raccoon in a frat house. After 2 weeks, the sink was a war crime. His plates were crusted with dried ketchup. Bowls had unidentified food fossils. And the worst part? He kept using our clean dishes. He'd wait until either Matt or I did a load of dishes, because we couldn't take the stench, then just grab a clean plate from the drying rack like he earned it. One night, I made pasta for Matt and me, and as soon as I drained the pot, I caught Chris trying to sneak a plate out of the clean stack. I stared at him and said, where's your plate? He blinked and said, I think it's in the sink. Oh, you think? That was the moment. I decided, okay. Petty time. The next day, I went to Target, bought a giant plastic bin with a lid, and brought it home. I deep cleaned every single dish, bowl, cup, and utensil I personally owned. Then I labeled the bin with a sticky note that said, private, do not use. And I shoved the entire clean set into the bin and stored it under my bed. Next day, Matt sees me pull a plate out of my room and goes, dude, genius. I'm doing it too. We never said a word to Chris. Just stopped restocking the drying rack. By day 3, Chris comes home from class and rummages around the kitchen like a rat in a panic. I hear cabinets slamming. The sink still overflowing with his biohazard mess. Then finally. Yo, where's all the plates? I shout from my room, probably in the sink. You said you didn't know how to clean them, so I figured you wouldn't mind. Silence. Then he says, can I borrow one? Nope. You'll mess it up. He got quiet. Real quiet. That night, he made ramen in the same pot he boiled it in and ate it with a measuring spoon. He kept that up for 2 more weeks. Stir fry out of a saucepan. Cereal in a coffee mug. Spaghetti eaten straight from the colander like some medieval gremlin. Eventually, I noticed something amazing, the sink started to shrink. One day, I peeked in, and there was a single plate, rinsed, with a sponge beside it. Then a clean cup. By week 4, Chris had done the unthinkable, his own dishes. He never apologized. Never said, hey, you were right, but now he does his own cleaning, respects our stuff, and occasionally even takes out the trash. Only when it's full to overflowing, but hey. Progress. Sometimes, you just need to show someone what living like an animal really feels like. TLDR, my roommate said he didn't know how to do dishes, so I took all my clean ones and locked them in my room. He was forced to eat like a caveman and eventually learned basic hygiene out of necessity. The barista kept ignoring me to flirt with customers, so I started tipping her rival $20 every day. Now I'm such a regular. Alright, so here's a little slice of espresso-fueled pettiness for you. I, 29M, work remotely and like to post up at cafes a few times a week to break up the soul-crushing sameness of my apartment. There's this one local coffee spot, very indie, lots of exposed brick and plants hanging from the ceiling like a jungle-themed Urban Outfitters. You know the type. I went there maybe once or twice a week, just enough to be recognized, but not, hey it's his usual, status. That was, until I had my run-in with Chelsea. Chelsea was one of the baristas. Early 20s, super trendy, the kind of person who uses a film camera, because it's more authentic. She's objectively cute and she knows it, which, good for her, but she would absolutely ignore me at the counter any time a guy who looked remotely like a skater Noah Centineo showed up. We're talking full eye contact. I open my mouth to say, hi, and she just turns away mid-sentence to giggle at some dude ordering an oat milk macchiato and asking if she does open mics. I might as well have been a ficus. At first I let it slide. We all have favorites, whatever. But this became a pattern. Every time I showed up. If Chelsea was working and a flirtable guy was in a 15-foot radius, she'd either pretend she didn't see me, or act like I'd somehow insulted her family line by ordering cold brew. Once, I literally said, hi, could I get a cold brew with, and she sighs, looks over my shoulder, and goes, hey Jeremy. You're back, to some dude behind me who looked like he owned 3 vests and said things like, vibes-based employment. I was baffled. I'm polite, I tip, I say please and thank you, I don't make weird small talk about astrology, what more do you want? Anyway, enter Jasmine. Jasmine is another barista there, maybe mid to late 20s, quiet, a little awkward, always wearing a band t-shirt and big librarian glasses. She's the exact opposite of Chelsea. No frills, no flirting, just efficient and kind. One day, Chelsea pulled the usual stunt and completely ignored me for 5 minutes while talking to some dude about his poetry collective. Jasmine finally stepped in, took my order, and when I went to tip, I saw their individual jars with their names on them. So I made a decision. Pulled a crisp $20 out of my wallet, had it from selling an old textbook, don't be impressed, looked Jasmine in the eye, and dropped it right in her jar. No words. Just eye contact and clink. She looked shocked. Chelsea's convo slowed to a halt. I turned around, took my cold brew, and walked to my seat like I'd just executed a mic drop. But oh, I wasn't done. The next day. Did it again. Another $20. Jasmine nearly dropped the card reader. Third day. I brought exact change for my coffee and another $20 for the jar. This went on for 2 weeks. Suddenly, guess who remembers my name? Oh hey, it's you, Chelsea chirps. You want your usual, right? Too late. You had your chance. Meanwhile, Jasmine and I are becoming besties. She starts throwing in free refills, upgrades my cup size, even slipped me a pumpkin muffin once, just because they were gonna toss it. After a week of this, Jasmine puts a little note in her tip jar that says, "You are appreciated, love," with a smiley face. My man heart. Full. Now, here's the kicker, after a while, I scaled back the $20s, I'm not a tech bro, but I kept tipping her exclusively. A few bucks here and there, plus kind words. That loyalty. It stuck. Jasmine knows my order by heart. She asks about my dog. She offered to let me sample a weird new single origin espresso, because I'm one of the chill customers. Meanwhile, Chelsea. She still flirts with every guy who looks like he might own a ring light and a podcast. But now when I walk in, I don't even have to say a word. Jasmine sees me, nods, and starts making my drink before I hit the counter. Chelsea just watches from her corner like she saw a ghost pay rent. TLDR, Barista kept ignoring me for flirtier customers, so I started tipping her quieter coworker $20 daily. That barista became my go-to, and now I'm the favorite regular while the original barista suddenly remembers I exist. Funny how that works.